Insiders have linked the New York Jets to a skyrocketing quarterback prospect as the New York Jets look for their next quarterback after Aaron Rodgers, and we got to break this report down. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video today, only 19.8% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. Helps out my co-host Chris a ton as well. But hopping right into this report from Bleacher Report, ESPN's Rich Cimini suggested that the Jets could address the quarterback position in the draft. The important thing that he said was keep an eye on Jaxson Dart of Ole Miss. He intrigues the Jets. The Jets, of course, also having veteran backup Tyrod Taylor who could stabilize the offense while Jaxson Dart develops. So Jaxson Dart is the quarterback out of Ole Miss, one of the number one quarterbacks statistically out of the SEC this season, and he's currently skyrocketing up draft boards. What's important about this report is the New York Jets, we've heard that they're interested in a quarterback in the first round, even though many draft analysts do not see many quarterbacks going in this first round, so many Jets fans are worried that this will be a reach. Also, how are insiders getting information that Jaxson Dart is intriguing the Jets? That's a question to me, but I'm going to trust them. They're the insiders, not us. Let's go over the pros, the strengths and weaknesses that Bleacher Report has presented for quarterback Jaxson Dart. The first thing you look for in a first round pick quarterback is the things that you cannot teach to a prospect. Those are traits like size, which is height, weight, arm talent, which is arm strength, arm flexibility. Can he throw from a bunch of crazy angles, or is he just got to be upright in the pocket, and athleticism. So let's see what Bleacher Report has to say about Jaxson Dart's stuff. 6'2", a little bit shorter than what you're looking for out of a quarterback, but definitely not problematically short. 225 is a good weight for your quarterback. Possesses above average arm strength with multiple arm slots. So that multiple arm slots thing is talking about what I was saying about how you want to have a flexible arm you can throw from different angles to make different plays. We see every Sunday, maybe not last Sunday, Patrick Mahomes can make these crazy throws on angles and stuff, making plays that otherwise would be sacks or incomplete passes. That's what you're looking for out of a guy out of the first round. Also, more positives for Jaxson Dart, according to Bleacher Report. Understanding of when to throw with velocity and how to use his velocity and touch. So velocity, of course, how fast you throw the ball. Some quarterbacks aren't able to utilize that properly. We see Anthony Richardson, he'll have like a 2 or 3 yard drag route and he'll throw it 1,000,000 miles per hour at the guy. So that's something that Jaxson Dart, according to Bleacher Report, knows how to utilize. Also, touch is being able to layer throws. If there's a linebacker in the flat, you want to be able to throw the ball over the linebacker, but not put so much air under it that the safeties are able to make a play on it. And that's something that Jaxson Dart's good at. Functional athlete with good size, build, and play extender. Jaxson Dart is a quarterback who has plus athleticism, meaning you can call a couple running plays a game for Jaxson Dart. A good comp for what his athleticism is going to look like in the league is a guy. I know Joe Burrow doesn't run the ball a lot, but we saw this season Joe Burrow had that 50-yard rushing touchdown against the Giants. The guy can run. Actually a better athlete perspective comp would be like Daniel Jones from an athletic perspective. Daniel Jones, when his last healthy full year with the Giants, he ran the ball a lot. Also, Jaxson Dart throws on the move outside the pocket with quick, snappy release. You want to have a fast release because the faster you can release the ball, it doesn't matter if the defensive linemen are on you quickly, you get the ball out quickly. Some quarterbacks aren't able to have a fast release, and it leads to them taking more sacks. So, if he's such a good prospect, why would he be still there at 7? And why do some analysts why are they not high on this quarterback draft class? Let's talk about the negatives for Jaxson Dart here. Slower mental processing, reading defenses post-snap. So, when you're reading a defense, there is pre-snap reading, which is looking at where the safeties are, where the defense is set up, and you want to get an idea of where the holes in the defense should open up after you snap the ball. However, defenses can do things like disguise coverages. They can come out looking like one thing and do something else. It's pretty much, this is when the ball is snapped, you have to confirm your pre-snap read. Meaning if you read 2 high safeties before this ball was snapped, you need to snap the ball and take another look at the safeties and make sure they stay in 2 high. So and make sure they're not switching into a single high or a no high safety look, so you know where the openings are going to be. If the defense changes where the safeties are, the openings in the zone defense are going to be different. So Jaxson Dart needs to work on that more at the next level. Also, less than ideal anticipatory thrower from the pocket. Myself, I've watched 5 games of all 22 on Jaxson Dart. I wouldn't call his anticipation less than ideal. In 5 games, I saw 2 or 3 throws with anticipation. It was not good. He needs guys to be wide open before throwing them the football. This is not what you're looking for from a processing perspective from an NFL quarterback that you're drafting in the first round. Also, his mechanics and throwing efficiency declines with pressure bearing down. This is kind of a common knock on college quarterbacks coming out of school. When they're pressured, they start playing quarterback worse. Crazy thought. Who could have ever thought that would happen? We saw this knock with CJ Stroud, but he got over it. But there was also that knock on Sam Darnold, who never really got over that. So it's a negative. We're going to see what Jaxson Dart can do with that. Also, this is a very underrated negative that they have here. It's this last bullet point. Ole Miss offense provides isolated quarterback-friendly reads and is not a pro-style system. In the NFL, you have to make full field reads, and you got to be able to read the entire defense. At some colleges, their offensive schemes do not have the quarterback doing that. You're either going to have to read one defender, or in Ole Miss's case, a lot of them aren't reads at all. They'll call plays where Jaxson Dart will drop back, look to his right, and then have a scripted look back to his left and throw a swing route to a running back or a flat route to a wide receiver with another blocker down the field. So it's like a pseudo screen pass. And what it does is it raises the completion percentage for Jaxson Dart or for whoever the quarterback is, and also, gives him yards and stuff that he doesn't really. I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve it, but they're cheap. They're cheap yards when it comes to being a quarterback. Also, when your entire offense is predicated on that, it's not stuff that works at the next level. So that kind of stuff does not show scouts that this is a quarterback who can read full field reads. Jaden Daniels made full field reads. Quarterbacks coming out of pro-style systems are quarterbacks who are able to make these sort of reads. And speaking of pro-style quarterbacks, there are 2 guys in the later rounds. The 3rd round to 6th round is where these quarterbacks are being projected. That's a little bit of a wide projection. But honestly, when it comes down to it, these day 3 quarterback picks are pretty much impossible to nail down exactly which round they're going to come out of. But I've seen a lot of comments about both these players, and if people are asking for me to break these guys down, I am happy to, because we can't make this. Me and Chris cannot make this channel without the people who watch it, without the people who comment it, like it. So thank you guys. Going to break these guys down. Will Howard out of Ohio State and Kyle McCord out of Syracuse. These are both prospects who, in my opinion, they have a low ceiling because both guys they lack those elite traits that you're looking for out of your franchise quarterback. Can a quarterback work out without these long-term traits? Yes. I don't have the list. I meant to make a list for this video. Going through all the quarterbacks taken from round 3 to even through round 7. Going back to 2017, every single draft pick was a waste outside of Brock Purdy. So drafting a quarterback in the Will Howard range, the Kyle McCord range, it's not a good idea historically. I know Brock Purdy was really good, and I understand that the upside of hitting on a selection like that, the upside is gigantic, but I don't like betting on outliers like that. It's not how you win in the long term. But let's look at what Bleacher Report has to say about these 2 players. This is first going to be Will Howard. I understand they're a little bit small. These bullet points are a little bit small, but we're going to go through them. First off, let's talk about those unteachable elite traits. 6'4". That's a box that Howard checks that these other 2 quarterbacks are not going to check. 6'4". You want to see your quarterback 6'4", 6'5". That's the sweet spot. That's what you're really looking for. 237. Very heavy, sturdy quarterback. This guy is not going to get hurt. Someone we know he's... Actually, I don't want to spoil too much. Let's go through these one at a time. So we go through the size. Will Howard has the size you're looking for. Let's talk about his next thing. Let's talk about his athleticism. I know he runs the ball a lot at Ohio State. But you cannot tell me that if Will Howard was a starting quarterback for the New York Jets, you can't tell me that there would not be 15, 16 quarterbacks more athletic than Will Howard. So that's why I got to say he has athletic He's average athleticism. Here, Bleacher Report has plus level athleticism, but the league is getting more athletic every single year. And where he is at is just, it's not. 5 years ago, it would have been plus athleticism. Now the league is changing. He is just average. Next, my next thing you're looking for, the elite traits, the arm talent. Again, Will Howard is average. Can he make all the throws? Yes. There are quarterbacks, cough, cough, Shedeur Sanders, who can't make every throw, who don't have the arm strength. Will Howard does have enough arm strength. A great word to describe Will Howard is enough, because he doesn't really have a whole lot of things that you're looking at when you look at him. He doesn't have a whole lot of things that you're like, man, he really needs to work on that. There's not that one thing you're like, we can't draft him because of that. It's just, he's pretty good at everything. So good arm talent, can make numerous NFL throws inside and outside the pocket. Well-experienced player with over 1,800 dropbacks in his collegiate career. Very important. He transferred from Kansas State and is now playing at Ohio State. It's very obvious while looking at Will Howard that this is a quarterback who's played a lot of footballs, played a lot of snaps. So the takeaway there is he is pretty close to a final product. So when you draft him, honestly, I hate starting rookies, but he's someone who I would feel comfortable starting week 1 should the New York Jets draft Will Howard here. Good understanding of when to throw with velocity and touch. Layers throws well. The exact same bullet point as Jaxson Dart. Negatives. Limiting putting the football in harm's way and turnover-worthy plays. So watching the film on Will Howard, there were not a lot of turnover-worthy plays, but the ones that were turnover-worthy were really, really egregious, where they were just head-scratching throws where there's a guy right in front of the guy he's trying to throw to, and he just tried to bullet it right to the guy, and you're like, what are we even looking at here? So that's certainly a negative. Lower body mechanics lack consistency on dropbacks, can get heel clicky when climbing the pocket. Climbing the pocket is, of course, after you drop back, you go through your first, second reads, no one's there. You're supposed to step back into the pocket on the same line that you drop back on, because that's the way the offensive line is designed to protect you. But Will Howard, you want to keep your feet around shoulder width under you. So when you climb back up, your heels should not be hitting each other. They hit each other when he's climbing the pocket. Also, will be 24 as a rookie and viewed as a project who is near his ceiling. A prospect who is near his ceiling. So yeah, that's something I said. Although where the league is now, the age, the experience, it's a plus for me. Because look at Bo Nix. Look at he came out with all this experience, and it showed every single game for the Denver Broncos. Also, this league has no patience anymore, and they want to see what you are immediately. They don't have time for the developmental prospect anymore. So I think if you're a quarterback, you want to come out as close to a final product as you possibly can. Also, none of the tools, physical or mental, are on an elite tier. Now, that's again something I said. I did not read these positives and negatives before making this video, because I wanted to give you, the people watching this video, my own ideas with these quarterbacks, while also looking at what Bleacher Report had to say about them. So now let's take a look at Kyle McCord, 6'3", 224. The height is, it's okay. We're okay with that. 224 weight is pretty good. Positives, mechanically sound thrower. Has a quick and snappy release. Kyle McCord, he is your pocket passer, your mid-round pocket passer this year. The best things that he does is stand in the pocket and use his plus arm strength. He has a better arm than Will Howard. Kyle McCord he really does have a powerful arm. He's not elite, but it's powerful. That's the way that Kyle McCord was able to go from the guy who was seen as the player holding back Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka at Ohio State, and turned into this guy who led Syracuse to an upset versus a top 10 Miami team. Led Syracuse to having a really, really high-level offense this year. It's kind of funny. These two guys, Will Howard and Kyle McCord, both played at Ohio State. So also, accurate pocket passer who delivers passes with good ball placement. Accurate. He's a pocket passer. That's how he's going to beat you. Let's actually talk about some of his negatives, because this guy, Kyle McCord, he's just a pocket. I don't want to say he's just a pocket passer, because that makes it sound like that's a bad thing. That's a good thing, but he's not going to add anything athletically to your game plan. His negatives, average mobility and athleticism. Just said that. Mechanics and decision-making decrease while under pressure. Again, that's common. You're going to see that all over scouting reports, but it's something that has to be noted. tends to lock on to initial reads. I did notice this while watching him. There are plays where he will stare down his number one receiver, and if he's open, he'll throw it. If he's not open, he won't throw it, but then he'll hold on to the ball and take a sack. So also he has to reduce turnover-worthy plays. This is the same thing as Will Howard. Just got to make sure you protect the ball. Can't be having a quarterback who's turning the ball over a ton. That's not how you win football games ever. So my kind of final thoughts on both these guys, I don't understand what the hype is behind them because both of them seem like very just, I don't want to call them mid because in our society today, that kind of has a negative connotation, but neither one of these players are especially exciting to me. And I don't understand why these are the two guys that our comment section are so excited about. I understand Will Howard just won the national championship, which is impressive, but the college football game and the NFL game are very different. And just because you can win games in college does not mean you can win in the NFL. It's a plus, of course, but Max Duggan won in college. Not a championship, but he made it to the championship game. What did he do in the NFL? Stetson Bennett, 2 championships back-to-back. What does he do in the NFL? Just being a winner in college football is not, that just doesn't count for too much in the NFL. We have to be able to separate what's a really good college player from a really good NFL prospect. So that's what we got to do there. Please, in the comments, if you made this far in the video, please tell me what the excitement is behind these two quarterbacks, because watching them, like I said before, I don't think they're not awful prospects. They're honestly pretty solid prospects. I thought going into scouting these players, I thought Will Howard was going to be a 6th or 7th round pick, but watching him, I had to increase my expectation to a 4th round pick because he was more impressive than I was expecting him to be. The problem is he's just not someone that I'm excited to draft, who I'm going, oh, that's the guy who's definitely the long-term starting quarterback, number one guy, franchise-type quarterback for the New York Jets. As far as Kyle McCord, I mean, I know a lot of people want mobility, but it's not, you don't need mobility to win. If you're an elite passer, you can get it done. That's what Kyle McCord is going to try to do, but he's, just like Will Howard, not especially exciting. He had to transfer because he wasn't good enough at Ohio State, so he did get better at Syracuse, but was that the scheme? Was it a better situation for him? Were the lights too bright at Ohio State? Because if you come to New York, the lights are certainly going to be brighter. So, like I said before, I am very interested to know why guys are so excited about these two quarterbacks. But if you guys stuck around this long, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed. And as always, go Jets.